Okay, hi guys, it's Destiny. I'm back. So, I want to first start off by saying thank you to all my subscribers. I love you all very much. Thank you for being here with me. You all mean the world to me. So, today I'm diving right into it, and I'm going to be talking about why I think the Adjustment Bureau is real. So, it's probably going to be like two topics mainly. So, why I think the Adjustment Bureau is real and the frame painters of reality. So, let's get into it. So, I think the Adjustment Bureau is real because I don't think we have as much free will as we think. I think as people, as real humans, as, beings with a soul and a spirit and a consciousness and a mind, sentience, I think that we wake up in this world one day, we spawn in around the age of like 2, 3, sometimes 4 years old. And before that age, you have no recollection of anything that happened. Like you don't remember being 1 year old. You don't remember being 2 years old. You don't remember being 2.5. You don't remember your third birthday. You just kind of spawn in, your consciousness spawns into a body. It's somewhere in your toddler stage. So you come here, and I think somehow there is an organization that is responsible for shaping the destiny of your life. Now, I know that's a really big thing to say. I know that is very controversial, but I just stay with me. Just walk with me. So when you come into this reality, you don't know where you are. You are living in a house with strangers, your parents, your siblings, and you just have to get to know these people. So you have an identity thrusted upon you. So you have your sex thrusted upon you, your race, your socioeconomic background, your religious background. You have all these things given to you by the system or your parents or who or whatever. Who knows? But it's not you choosing this. And I know some people say, oh, well, we all made these soul contracts before we incarnated on Earth. No. Do you have any proof of that? I'm pretty sure the consensus amongst people that are thinking about reality is that they don't want to be here. They never signed up for this. And people that have died and came back to life, they didn't want to come back. Most people are like, no, I was forced back here. I wasn't given a choice. And even when I said no, whoever, the archons, my dead grandfather, whoever and whatever, God, Jesus, I don't know, Krishna, forced me back. So I don't think it's accurate to say that, oh, we all make these soul contracts and we chose our parents. I did not choose my parents. I love my parents very much. I love them. They're fabulous. But if I had a choice, I don't think I would have been like, oh, yes, those two right there. Oh, yeah. That's weird. But I think that, the fact that we have our identity thrusted upon us is a first indication that we don't really have that much free will and that there is already something written before we spawned into this place. Additionally, as you grow up, there will be a lot of things that you want to do, but somehow they don't happen, or things that you prepare for and you get up to the moment that it's supposed to occur and it just kind of vanishes and nobody discusses it. No one says anything. So, for example, when I was a kid, I did a very, very tough accelerated academic program. And I didn't have a lot of free will in the classes I chose or the classes I would take. Excuse me. But I was given the choice of, what language I wanted to take, what higher level foreign language I wanted to learn for 2 years. So I chose French or whatever language is adjacent to me. I'm not going to give out too much information about my life because you're like, who? I know you. But, you probably do. I have a few monetized channels, but bear with me. So I chose French. a language very adjacent to English. I felt like it'd be easy to pick up. I already knew some French, so I wanted French. My first day of class, I had Chinese. So when I asked my academic counselor, like, why? Like, I didn't go to her argumentative, but I was a teenager. I was a kid. So I didn't have I didn't have the most sense, back then. But I went to my academic counselor, my guidance counselor for the program. And I was like, ma'am, I remember, like, we discussed this. I requested French before summer break. You said no problem. I'll be in French. This is one of the only choices I have. And on my schedule, it says I'm in Chinese. And she said, oh, yeah, we just had this Chinese class just come up. And we hired someone from Taiwan. So we just need to put people in the class. So you're going to be in Chinese for the next 2 years. And I said, oh, okay, well, thank you. But is there a way that, I can switch to French and someone else can take my spot in Chinese? And she said, no. And then she was very stern about it. Like, absolutely not. Like, why? Like, that's so odd because in that moment, it seemed like, okay, there's something else going on here. There's something I can't see that's happening. And where I'm from, people call it destiny or fate or God or something along those lines. Me, I didn't really know. I just knew that there was probably something else happening. And I couldn't put my finger on it. So I had a tougher time for the next 2 years. Because not only was I in these hard honors courses, but I also had another course I didn't want to do, Chinese, and also I had to learn a hard language because it's totally foreign. It's not a Western language, and it just made my life more difficult. However, in retrospect, I see that was probably the plan all along. Something else outside of me had a script for my life, and taking Chinese, learning Chinese, being able to communicate in Mandarin was a part of it. There were many people that I encountered in my life that spoke Chinese, that I made friends with, and they got me in contact with this person, and through this person, I went to this event, and I met my husband. And that, I met my first husband, which was, he's my ex-husband for a reason. But, okay. So I think the Adjustment Bureau is also real because there are lots of instances where you can set yourself up for something, you do all the right things, you get accepted to it, and then somehow some weird freak incidents comes up, and now you just can't do it. So I'm going to use my own life because I don't know anybody else's better life. I don't know anybody else's life better than my own. So from my own experience, a few years later, I set myself up for a particular job, a particular career that would have really catapulted me into the realm I wanted to be in. So I always wanted to be in a realm of like upper echelon. I'm not from like a super wealthy family or anything, but I definitely wanted to raise and ascend in echelons. So I did these prestigious programs, I did these academic programs, I did these internships, and I volunteered in these areas, and I, met with the right people. I had like discussions with my professors in their office hour. I did all the right things. And I applied to this job, which would have been the gateway into the next echelon above the one I was in at the time. So, applied to this job. I was accepted for it. All was fine. I was given a full ride scholarship to this really amazing college, and everything was going great. And about a month before I was supposed to start and get this new job and go into this school, it was all wrapped up together. I got a call like, hey, you can't go to this job because of this really strange reason that just happened. And I said, hey, here's my scholarship letter. Here's all of this stuff from this job. Can I please go to this job? There's no reason why you absolutely need me to stay in this city with this particular job. And this job was in the same vein. So think about like FBI, CIA type of thing, and then just having like a scholarship to Brown, just something like that. Just thinking that vein. So I was already working in that same type of atmosphere, just at a lower level. And the track I was on at the lower level was a track that I didn't want to stay on because it was leading me to progress. Still, I was still going to be progressing regardless. And in the lower job, they really liked me. They really wanted me. They really were motivated about me being there. They were pushing me for promotions. They were putting promotions on me that I didn't even want. And I was like, well, this is all great and dandy, but this is the same echelon. Even if I promote all the way to the highest of this job, I'm in the same echelon. I don't want this. This is not my stuff. This is not my brand. This is a means to an end, not an end in and of itself, although it's an end for other people. So, yeah, my job, the lower level of the job that was on board the whole time, the whole year, 7-8 months, all of a sudden couldn't let me go. Why? Because an agency already had a script written for me. They wanted me to stay in this lower level job and promote in that echelon. Instead of going to work at the CIA, like actual headquarters, no, they wanted me to stay at one of the little branches, the little branch units, the little offshoots. Still the CIA or CIA adjacent, but the job that I was working in wouldn't take me to another echelon that I was trying to get in. And it didn't matter how hard I tried, how perfect I was, how much I looked the part, had the academics. The people loved me on both sides, not just the people above me, not just the people below me. The people, my peers, loved me. They were pushing for me to get promoted. That's the craziest part of it all. Like, the people that I was leaving loved me. The people that were calling me and giving me the scholarship and the job opportunity, they loved me. And they wanted it. But something outside of me and them said, no. No, Desi, I'm not Indian, but no, Desi, I want you to stay at this lower level offshoot CIA job. So, I know that a lot of us have similar experiences where, I can go on, and I could say, this has always been happening. There's always been an organization out there shaping the course of human destiny. There were wars where there were UAPs in the air, and both sides of the battlefield saw it and stopped fighting because they were in awe. It rewrote reality. Something is out there causing the Mandela effect. I don't know if it's just the Adjustment Bureau itself causing the Mandela effect, but I'm just using that as an example. I don't think we're switching universes. I don't think we're jumping to parallel timelines. What I think is happening is that this hologram is just a hologram. This world that we live in is a tesseractal hologram, and we're stuck inside of it somehow. And other beings write our lives for us. It's almost like our lives is a book. This whole reality is a book. Think of it that way. It's a book. And I've written books. And when you're writing your book, your characters like become alive in your head. You start building the world in your head. And then if you don't really talk, especially if you don't talk about it with other people, your characters will begin to live lives of their own. They'll get agency, because I think whenever you're creating, you're imbuing your characters and your world with a measure of divinity, because you're already divine and everything that you create is an extension of you. So I think that the same thing extends to this reality. And it's not actuality. No one ever said it was. That's why it's called reality. Because it's not the original. It's something you're doing again. It's something that is redone. This is not actuality. This is not base actuality. It's not base reality, as some people call it. So what I think is going on is this world is a book. We are characters in the book. The fixed points of our lives are just lines written in the book. And whatever we do in between the chapters is called free will. But some of us have more free will than others. People that are like maybe not as significant to the book of reality, they have more free will because they don't have as much written about them that has to happen. Like, I have died multiple times and I have come back to life every single time. I don't think that this reality is as cut as dry as we think it is. I don't think anything is going to happen unless whoever wrote this reality wants it to happen. I don't know why the Adjustment Bureau is concerned about me. I don't know what is so important about me where they need to go and fuck with my vocation. And I live a pretty beautiful life. Like, I'm not out here like talking shit. I'm not complaining, but it's not what I wanted for myself. Even with a fully developed brain, I said, no, this is what I've been accepted for. This is what I worked for. This is what I want. And reality itself says no. Oh God. I'll get into more examples if you'd like. Let me know if you want me to get into more examples of why I think the Adjustment Bureau is real. Because, baby, I got tons of examples of this. I don't understand, but I think I do at the same time. Because, for example, I am writing a book, and my protagonist is a girl. She's a female. She's a woman, a young woman, and she has things to do. I'm giving her stuff to do. I'm giving her, demons to fight and bosses to fight and things to overcome and exes to get over. I gave her those things. But I don't think she knows she's a character in a book. Because I built the whole world in my head. There's layers to the world. The upper echelon is at the top. The regulars are on ground level and everything in between. And she has been, tainted with a certain type of virus. And her life is cool or whatever. And all of this is happening. I wrote all of this for her. And I can see her in my head. And she does her own thing. She lives her own life. She's living. She's doing stuff. She's maneuvering the world. But she doesn't realize that I am the one writing her fixed points. She doesn't realize I'm the one that retroactively wrote her ex-boyfriend into existence. She doesn't understand that her world isn't real. She genuinely thinks that she is a real being, a real person, living in a real world. She doesn't realize how kooky and goofy that world is because she doesn't know any better. And she heard about the past, which is, I guess you can say, our life right now. The past is the past, the present in this world, like that we live in, is the past of the world of my novel. So she heard about the past, and she heard about how less fantastical things were in the past. You know, in my book, there's like the magical beings and magic and stuff. And so she knew that magic wasn't a thing, but now it is. And she doesn't find anything strange about that. And she truly believes that she is in control. She has free will. Her thoughts are her own. Her actions are her own. That nobody else is directing it. Nobody else is scripting it. Nobody else is doing it. It's like, what? Okay, girl. And I think the same thing is going on with us. We are so blissfully unaware of the fact that we are simply characters in a novel. You can say a screenplay, you could say a Netflix TV show, you can say all sorts of things. And you might argue, well, if our lives were a Netflix TV show, then it wouldn't be a book. Well, you can adapt books for TV. And you may argue, well, if our lives were a Netflix TV show, we'd be able to eventually find it, right? No. Duh. Like, your algorithm is only going to show you what it wants to show you, what it's going to allow you to know exist. You know, I'll never get the same ads, and I'll never be recommended whatever Bengali men 40-year-old dads are recommended on YouTube. That's never going to happen. Never. The algorithm knows that I am young and I don't have kids and I'm whatever race I am mixed race. You know, it knows that. It's not going to give itself away that deeply unless it wants to, you know, unless it wants me to go crazy. So, you know, I think this is real. I think the evidence is overwhelming that I don't want to say you have to live out the script that the Adjustment Bureau set for you, but it's getting to a point where I am thinking that the Mandela effect is caused by either the writers of reality going back, backspacing and rewriting things because they just wanted to change stuff in editing, or people, like characters, people in reality choosing not to follow their script, so they just leave. I don't know how they're leaving. I don't know where they're going, but they're just fucking leaving. You know, and I don't support the act of like unaliving yourself. I don't believe in stuff like that because I feel like that, I don't know. I don't really have any opinion on it. I just know that that's probably not the way. And as someone who has died, yeah, it's probably not permanent. But don't test it out. But when I say leave, I mean, there's probably all sorts of fucking ways to leave. I have tried since I was a child to hack this reality and circumvent the Adjustment Bureau because I knew something was out there forcing people to do things they didn't want to do. Just something is just making people manifest actions without thought. So I have, like when I was like maybe 7, I would use the home phone and I would call like nonsense numbers, like try to call a fake number to see if that would hack me out of reality. So, for example, like I would dial, like I'd pick up the phone and then I'd dial like 56 star. And then the phone would just either do nothing or it just had like dial tone. It like get confused. It'd be like, huh, da, da, da. And because I thought that I always had this like idea in my head that there's a way out. There's a way home. I don't know what it is, but I don't think dying is a way out. I honestly don't think that. I think for one, I think human bodies are immortal. Like, I know that sounds crazy. I know we see people die, and that's fantastic. That's great. I've had loved ones die. But I'm saying from experience, I have died. I have met others who have died, and then they were undead. They just, like, were dead, and then they stopped being dead. And I mean dead. Like, been flatline for hours, days, however long, and alone or with other people. And they just fucking wake up alive. It's weird. Like, they should have brain damage and none. They should have like physical ailments, but they have none. Wake up in perfect health. I have overdosed by accident one time. Like, these doctors keep giving me the wrong dosage for medicine. And I keep medically overdosing. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time. Like, usually when I medically overdose, it's the doc giving me too much anesthesia. And so they're like, yeah, that will put out a baby elephant. I don't know how you're still alive. But anyway, so I had this medicine, these sleeping pills, and the prescription was too high. And they told me to take too many at also too high of a prescription. And I did. And I fucking died. I went black. Everything went black. I did not fall asleep. Everything went black. I felt myself panicking. I felt myself hyperventilating. And then I was dead for days. Like, my consciousness was still here, but I wasn't breathing. And then it's almost like I time traveled and I just woke up Sunday evening in perfect health. I don't know. But what I'm saying is dying isn't, I don't know if that's the way. I don't think so. I think once you've done whatever the script wants you to do, then it'll just kill you off. Like, once the Matrix has used you for whatever it wants to use you for, it'll just kill you the fuck off. Like, if it doesn't have use for you anymore, or if you're not engaging with it at the level that it needs, you're not giving the script attention, the Matrix, whatever, it'll get rid of you itself. So I think that there might be a way to circumvent the Adjustment Bureau, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what people are doing to get the fuck out of here. I used to do all sorts of weird things. Like, I clicked my heels together, hoping that would get me out of here. Like, I used to knock on rocks because I was like, okay, this might be like a cheat code. And then, like, I would clap twice and then kick the floor and then look up. And I'd say, okay, that nonsense movement might be a hack out of here. No, none of those things were hacks. Like, kind of like cheat codes. Like, if you did, like, nonsense things in, like, PlayStation 1 video games, you could just get like free loot or, extra lives, extra health, piss off the police. And now you got 5 stars in Grand Theft Auto. I thought that maybe there was something like that for reality. But I don't know. I have no idea. I have done so many things to reason with the Adjustment Bureau, to circumvent the Adjustment Bureau, to be on their side. I've done what they wanted me to do, but they still have more things they want me to do. It's never enough. So I don't know. But I do know this one thing. In my opinion, like I say no and then opinion, but like that's all. No, sis. Because I gotta preface this. In my opinion, don't go crazy or nothing. But in my opinion, I think that there is an organization and they are people. They might be slightly superhuman, but I think the Adjustment Bureau is that organization. They can have many different names. But I'm just saying the Adjustment Bureau because we've all watched the movie and that's a frame of reference. I think the Adjustment Bureau is an agency that employs regular people from within this reality or right outside of this reality to direct and control the events of the people in this world. So I think that they have multiple mechanisms by which they can do this. I think that, for one, the Adjustment Bureau works with the frame painters of reality. And by frame painters of reality, I'm talking about the people that create the stills for reality. Okay, so this video is going long. I'm already at 32 minutes, so I'm just gonna end this one right here, and then I'll pick up on the next video about the correlation that I think exists between the Adjustment Bureau and the frame painters of reality. By frame painters of reality, I just mean the people that unarchive the stills of reality and have those as templates and then just create the world that you live in, create the visual experience for you, because the things that we're seeing through our two eyes, our physical eyes, were set in place by somebody else. It's like when that's the reason, in my opinion, when you're looking for something and it's you know where you left it and you go back to it, you know where you left it, you look there, you look everywhere, you go back to the original place and voila, the thing is there. That's because not the Adjustment Bureau, that's because the frame painters of reality miss putting that item in for a few frames and then they put it back. They unarchived an old image and transposed it so when you went back that your missing item was back in the most obvious place. So thank you so much for making it this far. I love you guys. Please leave your comments down below, like, subscribe. Let me know if you think the Adjustment Bureau is real. Tell me your experiences. Like, am I crazy? Am I delusional? Like, am I just out here? Am I misguided? Like, am I the only one having these strange experiences? Or is this a shared phenomenon? We need to discuss this, in my opinion. Thank you guys so much. I love you all so much. I hope you all are having a fabulous new year and stay beautiful, stay handsome, stay strong, and just stay amazing. See ya.